Hello everyone, my name is Singh. I have secured All India Rank 20 in Indian Forest Service Examination 2018. Presently, I am undergoing training at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, Dehradun. I have done my graduation in mechanical engineering. As we all know, because of the present ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, UPSC has shifted the dates of prelims to October 4, 2020. We have around 3.5 months, 4 months left for our prelims examination. Further, for Indian Forest Service examination, the prelims cutoff is generally 10 to 15 marks higher than what we have for civil service examination. So for all the aspirants who are appearing for civil services as well as for Indian Forest Service examination, prelims plays a very important role for their selection and getting an opportunity to write the mains examination. In this video, I would be discussing about how you should be preparing in these next 3.5 months so that you can efficiently prepare for your prelims examination and you have an efficient way of revising things and attending your mock test papers. Starting with a general overview of our prelims examination, the entire prelims examination or syllabus could be divided into 6-7 broad areas. Generally, this division of subjects and syllabus is done on the basis of broadly what all the topics are covered in a particular subject. For example, we have history, geography, ecology and environment, economics, polity, current affairs part. Further, we can divide history part into ancient, medieval, modern India, art and culture. So taking this into consideration, we have broadly 6-7 subjects which have to be covered for the prelims examination. As we all know that we have 100 questions MCQ for the prelims examination, and in past years we have seen the competition is increasing day by day. The cutoff for IFS examination is going higher and higher. So efficiently preparing for prelims examination becomes a key for us to write for mains examination. For next 3.5 months, I think we should prepare in a way that we are able to revise more and more. In my opinion, revising more and more is the key for the success of having higher cutoffs and clearing them in prelims examination. Generally, my score when I was an aspirant, my score was generally 10 to 15 marks higher than what the cutoff used to be for civil service examination. That is very important for us to easily qualify the prelims. Starting with how to prepare and how to utilize this 3.5 months period, let's divide this 3.5 months period into a slabs of 10 days or 7 days, depending upon how your preparation is, what attempt is yours, and how much prepared you are and how much comfortable you are in a particular subject. For example, let's say for first 10 days, we are picking up 2 subjects, let's say history, polity. That is up to you, your choice, your interest, your preparation level. In 10 days, try to revise as much as you have read. In my opinion, whatever you have read and whatever sources you have referred, stick to it. Do not try to add too much new content in what you have read till now, at least in the static part. Because I think the more you read, the more you need to revise it. And there is no point of reading a topic which you are not able to revise before the examination. So, if we divide the entire period into 10 days and 7 days slab, you will be getting around 12 such slabs if you are talking about a weekly schedule for it. So starting with, in first week, if you are taking 2 subjects like for example history and polity, try to revise them completely, and on the basis of it, try to attempt any mock prelims test paper. It could be of any coaching institute or any online platform which provides such papers. You can take any one paper for these subjects, try to attempt it and see how you are scoring. The idea of dividing the entire syllabus into 10 days is to have a proper revision module so that you can revise as many times as possible before the examination. Generally, I think 2 to 3 times of revision is very must for you to getting a very good score and for you to able to recall the answers in the prelims examination. Starting with the first 10 days schedule, if you are attempting 2 subjects in the first 10 days, try to revise all your notes, the books which you have referred, and try to make notes of few things. For example, if you have a tendency to forget the articles, try to Write them on a piece of a paper, A4 sheet, so that you have a summary of it and you can revise it. Similarly, if you forget to remember few sequences in the history in modern India, because generally prelims does not ask about dates, but definitely they ask you to arrange the events chronologically. So it's not important that you remember dates for the history, but you should have a mind map for what events have taken place in what decade or period of a time. A faint idea of it will help you in solving the MCQ, because in any case you have the answers in front of your eyes in prelims examination. So whatever difficult topics you are getting, try to write them on an A4 sheet so that you can revise them. Definitely all the topics cannot be made into short notes. Try to make it for the topics which you find difficult. It might vary from person to person. After you have done your revision, after you have read your books, after you have gone through your notes and you have prepared your short notes, try to appear for the mock test. In 10 days, I think uh, two mock tests will be very good speed. Try to increase that speed in the second round, because as I said that you are having around 7 subjects or 6 subjects, so in a month you will be able to complete the first round of going through all the subjects, and in this you will be able to attempt around 8 mock test papers. I hope you have already gone through your many test papers, because earlier the exam was to be held in the month of May and June. So I think you must have gone through enough number of test papers. Try to revise them. For example, if you have read something on history and polity and attempted a paper earlier, try to revise that paper, try to find what are mistakes you have done, and then go to the new paper. Then you will be having a set of notes, books, and your previous test papers, your mistakes, your right answers, and then you will be attempting your first paper in this period of time. Similarly, this should be repeated for other subjects in that 10 days time period. In the second round, try to reduce this time period. For example, if you are taking around 10 to 12 days, it depends on your speed, your comfortable approach towards a particular subject. So after you have done a first round of revision, in second round try to reduce that time. For example, in second round try to reduce that time to the 7 days. If you are reducing the time to 7 days, now in 7 days you have to appear 2 tests. Now if taking this into consideration, you will be able to complete around more than 16 tests in 2 months. 2 months or 2 months 10 days time period. So 16 test papers in 2 months time period, plus what all the test papers you have already given, try to compile them. If you are having some difficulty in revising them, mark the hard questions in the test papers itself, or the papers you found it very difficult or you were not able to answer more than correctly. Try to make a note of those questions, try to highlight the answers, and try to revise those answers more frequently, so that the topics which you have not covered in books, in your notes, you get these answers from the MCQs test papers. The major criteria of evaluating yourself in these test papers is not the marks. It might be possible that a particular test paper is having very high difficulty level. So in that particular time, when you are evaluating yourself, try to go for answers and their explanations. Try to link whether you have studied this thing somewhere in your books, in your notes or not. If you are able to relate it, try to write it there itself. For example, let's say you have made a wrong answer in your geography test paper. Try to link where that topic you have read in your book, in your notes, or anywhere else. If you find something new information, new fact, or new analysis, try to add that analysis at the same place where you have read that topic. And for example, if you haven't read that topic anywhere, try to make it as a note on a separate A4 sheet and try to stick it with your notes. This will help you in reducing the number of notes, papers you are having with you. The best benefit of it, that at the point of last revision, just before the examination, you will not be having too many of papers, too many of books to revise. You will be having limited number of sources to revise, and you will be able to link those answers, those topics when you are attempting your paper. One thing that is very clear in prelims examination, that apart from 30-40 questions, you won't be getting direct questions in the prelims examination. You have to link this information. And for linking this information, it is very much important that you have all these topics at one place. For example, if you are having some topic on economy related to some definition of a particular term and it has been related to present current economic crisis. Now, you won't be able to remember those topics until and unless you have been able to relate the current affairs to that topic. For that purpose, I am asking you to link topics with each other while you are preparing, while you are attempting your paper. Coming to the attempting prelims paper, I know this is a very pertinent question which aspirants often have there in their mind, that how many questions should we attempt? See, there is no clear answer to it. There are many people who have qualified this examination by attempting all the 100 questions. Generally, I used to attempt somewhere around 75 to 80 questions in my examination. And the reason was that I was having a very high accuracy of getting the right answers. For example, I still remember in one of my attempts, I attempted 75 questions and I got 73 right questions. Similarly, in other attempt, I remember I attempted 78 questions and I got around 73 questions right. So my score generally used to vary somewhere around 125, 140. So that was a very high frequency of getting right answers in my test paper. It might be different for different people. For example, someone might get more wrong answers, but they are attempting more, then it might be possible they are getting more marks than me. So it depends on how you have prepared, what is your strength, and how you go for your prelims paper. So these prelims paper, these mock tests which you will be attempting in these 3.5 months will give you this idea to what extent you have to attempt your paper. Because we should not have any picture in our mind about the cutoff before going to the examination hall. Because the cutoff depends on difficulty, how others have performed. So do not have any preconception of having a particular range of cutoff in your mind. For example, if you assume that cutoff for a particular year is going to be around 110, 115, and if you are sure about attempting questions in the range of 120 and you are sure that you will be definitely getting around 120 marks, what if cutoff goes to 125? You will be in a range of margin where again you will be not able to focus on your mains examination. So whatever you feel right, whatever you think that you can go to the extent without thinking about cutoff, be it higher, be it lower, go for it. And this will come through practice of mock test paper which you will be going or doing in this period of time. Next, how to attempt the MCQs in the prelims paper. You have to maintain one thing, that when you are reading your MCQs of your prelims test paper, just try to mark all the questions which you think you can attempt in the first go. In my case, which again I say might differ from people to people, I was generally able to mark 30 to 40 questions. It might again, I would say, depend on the difficulty of the paper you are attempting. But generally, let's say you are able to attempt 30 to 40 questions about which you are definitely sure that you won't be needing a second reread about these questions. Just mark them on your OMR sheet so that you are completely sure about these 30 to 40 questions. In second round, again go for marking 20 to 25 questions. I know in these questions you won't be knowing the answers exactly. So for these questions, what you have to do, you have to go for elimination. These 30 questions in the second round will be comprising of the questions in which you are able to eliminate at least 2 options, because all we know that we have negative marking in our civil services and Indian Forest Service prelims examination. So we have to be very careful about it. If you are able to eliminate 2 options from your MCQ, you should mark that. Try to reread it, try to relate it to whatever you have read and eliminate 2 options. In remaining 2 options, you have to go for one answer. So by this technique, we will be able to mark at least around 60 questions in your MCQs. Now, if you think in the third and fourth round, you have to again take up the questions which you have left. For example, you have left 40 questions. Out of these 40 questions, let's see how many options you are able to eliminate. For example, in a particular question, you are not sure about it. You know that a particular option cannot be the right answer of this particular question. You have to cross it. Now the remaining 3 questions, for example, you have an option where you have been given multiple choices. For example, B option says 1, 3, 4 statements are correct. C option says 1 and 2 statements are correct. Try to eliminate the options on the basis of what you have already read. For example, if a statement, for example, a statement 2 is not correct and you know, and other three options is having that statement, you should eliminate that statement from all the three statements, all the three options, and mark for it. This this practice, you know that you do not know the answer correctly, what option is going to be there. But now you are applying your knowledge of a particular option which can be eliminated from all the three options, and then you should go for it. Until unless you are having a bit of surety about a question, do not try to attempt it. Because as we all know that if you attempt a question and it goes wrong, you will be penalized in terms of negative marks for that. So try to have a bit of surety when you are attempting your paper in third and fourth round. So I think this preparation strategy, which might vary from person to person, is very important for us to take care while we are attempting our prelims paper. But general overview should remain the same. You should revise again and again, attempt as many papers as you can. For example, in this 10-day period or 7-day period which you decide for yourself, try to appear for at least 2 papers. In this particular time, you should not leave your current affairs, because we do not know till what time UPSC would be covering the current affairs part. For that, you can go for newspapers, making your own notes, or you can go for current affairs magazine, which is released by many coaching institutions or even by many aspirants who are preparing their notes and putting it on online. It is your choice, your level of comfort. So current affairs should be your core strength, because even if the current affairs are not asked directly by the UPSC, the questions are derived from the particular news in a particular period of a time. They might not be asking directly what happened in a particular month, but definitely they would be deriving that question from that current affair news, even though you might feel that it is from a static part. So my humble suggestion to all of you, keep on revising. Do not add more content to whatever have you read. I know in present situation where you are not able to go out, you have to be restricting your movement. Many things come in our mind, but this examination is not only about testing our knowledge, but also our mental strength, how we are able to tackle things in our life, because this is one of the most important trait which you will be requiring after coming to the service. If you have any doubts regarding prelims, book list, test series, and even how to attempt a paper, please feel free to write in the comment section. I am also available on many of the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can message me there as well. I would share my email ID as well. You can message me there also. I will be very much happy to help you out, and all the best for your preparation. Feel free to ask any doubts you have.